Alright, hello everyone, Calina here of StoryRetold, continuing with Arglefumph, the Nancy Drew dudes. Everything wrong with Nancy Drew, Treasure in the Royal Tower. This is the fourth game, and this is my fourth reaction video. Like I said in other videos, I remember watching this way back in the day, but it's been a long time, and now I can actually react to it and share my opinions. So, here we go. There are spoilers, FYI. Alright.
Nancy goes on vacation and accidentally uncovers a mystery cliche.
Classic for Nancy.
Nancy takes the most boring vacation photos.
It's relevant
now
to the story.
All I need is a mailbox.
You also need a stamp on your letter.
Yeah, and you can ask Dexter for it at the desk.
The Royal Tower is closed to visitors, but still advertised heavily as the castle's main attraction.
Yeah, from the exterior, I suppose.
Speaking of false advertising, the game's box promises over 20 hours of gameplay.
Way back in the day, that's about what was averaging the testers, and so that's the information they got from them. But people were not as hardcore gamers back then, or at least the Nancy Drew gamers. But a lot of people, a lot of girls, and a lot of that demographic are gamers today. So yeah, it'll take someone like maybe an hour to 4 hours or so to finish a Nancy Drew game. Players are fast now.
Marcel Bonnet's famous portrait is written Bonnet space backwards apostrophe S. Someone doesn't know typesetting. Ezra Wickford is not the inventor of chocolate milk.
No, but it's a fictional way that is that presents Ezra Wickford as being wealthy, and that's why he has a castle and imported castle parts. But yeah, it's nowhere stated in actual history who the inventor of chocolate milk was.
Ezra Wickford allegedly invented chocolate milk, but it's not available for purchase in his castle.
Too bad, huh? That would have been nice.
In fact, there are no drinks available for purchase in the castle. Everybody is just going to die of thirst.
Notice that there's a backside to the menu. We just don't get to look at it. Could be on there.
This is a breakfast menu with no breakfast items whatsoever.
The menu offers breakfast, lunch... yeah, they offer breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but you're right. It doesn't specify which one this menu actually is. They could have separate menus. I mean, what do I want for breakfast? The key to enlightenment pie. Yeah.
Caesar salad with garlic croutons is labeled as an anchovy dish.
Anchovy, where is this? Where is that? Anchovy heaven. Caesar dressing has anchovies in it.
Alarm clock reused from previous game.
It's a common alarm clock.
Sounds like the radiator is broken.
Nancy's dad is friends with the hotel's owner, but they still give her a bad room.
Maybe they didn't notice. Maybe they don't explore every single room every single time. Maybe it just went out.
Moving Nancy to a room with a working radiator is not an option, even though there are over 12 unused rooms.
She already got settled. I don't know.
The snow and frost on the windows never change over the course of several days.
Because it's cold.
Dexter puts Professor Hotchkiss in scare quotes, like he doesn't think that's her real name.
Maybe he doesn't believe her. That is true. There's nothing wrong with that. He could be, just snarky. Doesn't believe her he doesn't believe her, what's the word? Her credibility, maybe?
Nancy does everyone else's chores cliche.
That's true. That's a common thing in the Nancy Drew games.
Dexter is too lazy to go upstairs and talk to Hotchkiss himself, so he sends Nancy to do it for him.
Yeah, that gives the player a reason to interact with the other characters. Yeah, that's true. He could have phone called her.
Dexter says he's busy doing work, but we never see him do any work.
Nothing wrong with that. He's trying to man the desk and get things organized.
Bird should not be capitalized.
He's titling her something.
Jacques refuses to take Hotchkiss's boots up to her, even though that's his job.
Maybe he's just procrastinating his job and his roles.
Jacques refuses to take Hotchkiss's boots up to her, but later on he has no problem going to the kitchen and defrosting her chicken wings.
That's such a funny sentence to hear said out loud. Because Nancy asked him nicely.
This puzzle.
See yourself.
Welcome back.
Hang on,
to the
sorry.
And know you're not alone.
What is the meaning of this?
Jacques shouts when you turn off the lights, even if you do it when he's not there. Jacques' bicep.
He could be someplace else within the downstairs realm that we just don't see. What's wrong with Jacques' biceps? Come on.
Jacques' fake accent.
Okay, well, here's the thing. The Her Interactive team had a low budget for actors, and they only used actors who could physically come into the recording studio near their office. So the Actors Guild, the actors in that area, that's what we had to choose from. That's who applied, that's who we got.
I think that is the combination for number 311.
Jacques has memorized every locker and its combination.
Yes, and it adds suspicion on him.
There is no space after the comma in this sentence.
Yeah.
Jesse Johnson is not the Illinois Secretary of State.
Okay, continuity issue, but it's also a fictional game.
Why did Lisa lie about not knowing Spanish? The subplot is introduced and then immediately dropped from the game.
Added suspicion that that Lisa often lies. Excuse me.
To save on animation, Professor Hotchkiss hides behind the door for the first half of the game.
That is true. That is true.
I'll just have to tip you the next time, Mandy.
Hotchkiss never gives Nancy a tip.
I know, isn't that sad? But that's her character. She's very forgetful.
Hotchkiss's typewriter is still typing when she opens up the door and takes the boots.
Yeah, could have had a break there.
Okay, we're really making progress here, kid.
Dexter pretends he contributed to Nancy's work.
Teamwork. Yay! Encouraging you to keep up the good work yourself.
Extremely obvious secret door.
I know. Doesn't that add some great suspicion? It added some extra excitement for me when I first played this game.
Everyone else enters the Royal Tower by means of this secret door, but Nancy can't. She has to take the long way around.
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't it be cool if they could add a door handle there and let tourists through?
Manually dialing 10-digit phone numbers.
That's the way it was back then.
Nancy can't go down the side passageway in the vents, and that always bugged me.
Yeah, I know, me too. Not being able to explore every area that we want to is frustrating.
From behind, Dexter's body looks just like Lewis's body from the previous game.
Good observation. It's possible.
There is no reason for Dexter to jiggle the doorknob of a door he knows is locked, except to warn Nancy and give her more time to hide.
I mean, that's a good point. Yeah.
If you stand in place here, Dexter will not open the door.
Ooh.
He'll just stay outside, patiently waiting for Nancy to move before he comes in.
Maybe he has multiple keys. I know you only find one key later in the desk drawer, but maybe at this point he has multiple keys and he's fidgeting with which one is the correct one.
Dexter ejects Nancy for destroying the library, even though she wasn't in Wisconsin at the time of the crime.
Yeah, that could be a continuity bug. I would agree with that.
This is a real book, but these diary entries are all fake.
Filler text.
Security system has 3 zones, but it only covers 1 room.
I mean, it's possible that this device was only meant to use as one room, and security panels are capable, at least, for zoning other spaces.
Candle melts around the key without getting any wax on the key.
The heat melts away from the key, too.
Nancy picks up this key with her bare hands while the candle is still burning and her fingers are not hurt in the slightest.
How do you know she was using bare fingers? She could have been doing like this number and go.
Hi, I'm Lisa. Did you hear what happened? Someone broke into the library and vandalized it.
Lisa does not sound anything at all like a 26-year-old.
Oh, and Nancy sounds like an 18-year-old?
If you talk to Lisa about Hotchkiss before you talk to her about Jacques, she will immediately repeat everything she just said about Hotchkiss.
Okay, a logic mapping issue with the dialogue. Yes, I agree.
Maybe it's his ghost making those creepy noises at night.
What noises?
Oh, just your average bump in the night sound effects. It's probably just Dexter trying to spook up the hotel for the publicity.
Lisa insults the premise of the previous game. How did Lisa hear the noises coming from the tower? You can't hear Jacques sawing unless you're already in the secret passageway.
No, you can hear more bumps in the night when you're in the hallways near the elevator and also down the staircase that leads to nowhere off the side hallway.
Nancy finds a secret passageway cliche.
We like those cliches. We like secret passages. It's a Nancy Drew thing.
I should have mentioned that in my other Everything Wrong With videos. Oops. There's no reason for this puzzle solution to reset itself every time Nancy goes through the door.
Reusing puzzles again? Yeah.
The angle Jacques is sawing at doesn't match the angle of the cut.
I think it does.
Jacques' great-grandfather decided to keep the worthless medallion instead of Marie Antoinette's invaluable diary.
Well, when you see a gem over an old book, you don't know if the book is worth anything. And especially if you can't read. Oops.
The carpenters took the entire tower apart and put it back together again without finding the hidden diary, or finding the hidden key, or finding the hidden diamond.
Well, maybe that section of it was just brought in whole, like that piece from the per the grandfather.
Not only did they miss the diary, but the puzzle blocking the diary was left completely untouched.
Will you go get it while I take care of something?
Nancy doesn't question Jacques' vague excuse to go away and leave her alone. Isabelle threatens to break up with Jacques if he doesn't give her an engagement ring. She's not a good fiancée.
Well, we don't know how... Do we know how long he's been pulling her leg about getting around to getting married and actually committing to that idea?
Dexter knows Nancy was in the tower passageway due to the red dirt on her shoes, but there is no red dirt anywhere in the passageway.
Yeah, that is a continuity art error.
I'm not sure why, but Nancy can ask Dexter about the private garden, or she can ask Dexter about the private garden.
Okay, yeah, a duplicate dialogue option, not logic mapped well.
Dexter keeps nasty newspaper articles about himself in the shed.
How do you know that was Dexter? Do you think maybe it was Ezra Wickford? Or maybe another employee who knew about them both?
Nancy can spend as much time as she wants to outside, but she doesn't start to get cold until she realizes the door is locked.
What I need is some
Yeah, we don't need to add extra stress for the player when they're snooping all the time.
information about the castle.
Hotchkiss needs to know random trivia about the castle in order to write an essay on Marie Antoinette.
Yeah?
Hotchkiss is a scholar of French history, but she doesn't know when the storming of the Bastille was.
Maybe she's just quizzing you as a player, as Nancy, to see if she's worth even speaking to. You know, test her intelligence.
Thank you. Let me do some calculations to see if this is correct.
Hotchkiss double-checks Nancy's answers, meaning she had the correct answers in her room all along. Hotchkiss's legs are improperly layered.
Yeah, I see that.
Hotchkiss's room contains the remains of 5 chicken drumsticks, not 50.
Did you notice the other ones on top of the dresser?
What does l'espoir à ceux qui cherchent mean?
Nancy knows enough French to pronounce these phrases correctly, but she doesn't know enough French to translate them.
Lucky guess.
Battery dies at the crucial moment cliche.
Of course.
There is no reason for the chains puzzle to reset itself every time Nancy enters the tower.
Yeah.
Tower contains conveniently located jail for capturing culprits.
Dungeon.
Tower that hasn't been touched in decades is spotlessly clean. Tower is bright and shiny at all hours of the day. This
Okay, well, fun fact, in the book, it is lit by a nice chandelier.
puzzle.
What's wrong with it?
300-year-old journal is still in perfect condition. Not a single page is yellowed.
Bad judgment choice from the artist, I suppose.
Nancy, I must warn you. I'll wrestle you for this if I have to, and it won't be pretty.
Now I want to see Nancy wrestle Hotchkiss.
Yes. Yes.
Nancy has no remorse over destroying a gorgeous tile painting.
Well,
Nancy
no,
did
no.
not have to chip off those last 3 tiles. She clearly could have reached in and gotten the key while leaving those tiles alone.
Whoa! Will you look at that sparkly rock? And me without my sunglasses.
Hi, Lisa. How did you get in here?
Nancy is slow on the uptake sometimes. Lisa's head becomes wobbly during the culprit reveal.
Set foot in Lamo, Wisconsin again.
Lisa's mouth is not synced with her dialogue. To save on animation, Lisa is blurry for most of the culprit reveal.
Don't
Well, it also makes sense to the pepper spray effect.
worry. My spicy devil villain venom won't last for long.
You know someone's the culprit if they own a product called Spicy Devil Villain Venom.
But I'm afraid by the time you get your eyes back, you'll have missed my grand exit.
No matter which dialogue options you choose, Nancy gets her eyes back before Lisa's exit. Lisa knows her spray won't last for long, but she still takes a few minutes to brag about her exploits to Nancy. Culprit accidentally foils their own plot.
Yeah.
Why did you have to vandalize that beautiful library?
Just a little translation mix-up. I thought it meant Diamond of Misery in the library. Whoops.
The phrase in question is...
Le diamant de misère dans mon journal.
It means the diamond of misery in my journal.
How did Lisa mistranslate journal as library?
Good point.
As soon as Lisa runs away, the tile painting of Marie Antoinette magically repairs itself.
Yeah, good call.
Let's pretend
That's an
Lisa
error.
did leave the tower before Nancy. So what? She's still trapped in the castle due to the snowstorm.
No, it's
How does she
over.
plan to escape after that?
I mean, Nancy can step outside after the snowstorm, so she could probably step outside too.
Lisa survives a huge fall without any injuries.
Now, fun fact, it was George who fell through that in the book.
It's all moldy. Darn you, Nancy Drew. You're the worst friend a diamond thief could ever have.
That is a tame response, considering that Lisa will spend the rest of her life in jail.
To think I almost became friends with a diamond thief.
Were Nancy and Lisa ever really friends to begin with?
They were gossip buddies. Lisa was trying to be gossip buddies.
What Nancy is saying in the ending scenes doesn't match with what's written on her letter.
Uh-oh.
First, she missed her plane to Rio.
How did Nancy know Lisa is escaping to Rio?
Huh.
Lisa never said what her destination was.
Maybe it was in her passports? In her bag? Okay. Death by elevator. That was actually a really good second chance. Terrible, I should say. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Check out Arglefumph's videos in his playlist, which is linked down below in the description. And be sure to follow Arglefumph, the Untitled Chapter. And thank you for this great video, Arglefumph. I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned. Bye!